4th and goal to go at the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Hey, before I get started, just want to say thank you so much, everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up, possibly leave a comment below, or maybe even share this video. It would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. And just quick before I get started, another little side note. I just gotta, without question, I mean, from where I see, without question, the greatest weekend of playoff professional football, bar none. Every freaking game down to the wire. Every one was on the last play of the game. All four phenomenal games. Saturday games was defense. You know, and then at nighttime the snow's coming down at Lambeau Field. It's like 0 degrees with the wind chill and all that. Robbie Gould drills the game-winning field goal, 13-10. Then you had the Rams were up like 742,000-3, and they just fumbled the ball away and let the Bucks come back and tie it up at 27. And then I guess the Bucks forgot about Cooper Kupp on a couple pass patterns, just let him just run free, get him in field goal position, and they kicked the game-winning field goal as time ran out. So Mr. Brady, bye-bye. No back-to-back for you, Jack. And then the Buffalo Chiefs game, oh, unbelievable. That Josh Allen, man, is he a freaking beast. Oh, man. And we could have had him, but we took Saquon Barkley. But anyway, unbelievable games. Absolutely phenomenal. I hope that the championship games are that exciting. That would be awesome. Usually when you got 4 games on the weekends, you know, I mean, usually you might get a couple good ones, you know, but then you get like a blowout. You get somebody wins like 34-10, or you know, something. Another game might be 27-13 or something. But every game was on the last play. Unbelievable. And then the way the Chiefs, 13 seconds, they drove the field and kicked the field goal to tie it up and send it in overtime. Holy cow. Unbelievable. Wow. Absolutely amazing football. Very, very lucky. I'm so lucky I got the chance to see those games. Phenomenal. Anyway, back to the Giants, because we know the Giants aren't in the playoffs. Lou Anarumo. There you go. Oh, yeah. I guess he's maybe the first and maybe possibly last unexpected interview the Giants might make for their head coaching position. I mean, they might come up with somebody else or whatever, but I mean, you know, hopefully maybe somebody a little more mainstream, or maybe you've heard of them, you know. But I mean, I'll get to it, you know, but I mean, yeah, possibly if you're a good diehard Giant fan, you might have actually heard of Lou Anarumo. There's a few connections here, so just follow along here with me, right? Lou, first connection. Not really, but he's a Staten Island native. All right, so he's from the area. All right. Lou was the Giants' defensive backs coach in 2018. Another wonderful season. When Pat Shermer was the head coach, and yeah, James Betcher was the defensive coordinator. Remember that defense? Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know. He had good defenses with the Cardinals. He came over here and nope. Simply amazing. Since 2019, Lou Anarumo, he's been the Bengals defensive coordinator. All right. He's had, you know, the playoff games this season. He's had the Bengals defense playing pretty good. he held the Raiders to 19 points. Raiders, very good offensively. And he held the Titans to 16 points. And they were on the road playing against the Titans. So, I mean, that was, I mean, I thought it was going to be a close game, but I thought the Titans would somehow pull it out. But, I mean, they held the Titans to just 16 points. The Raiders, when they played the Raiders had 5 red zone trips. And they gave up 1 touchdown to the Raiders. So it was kind of like a little bend but don't break. I mean, they did a phenomenal job. They did, he's had him, really playing good so far this playoffs. Since 1990, he's basically been a defensive back coach / or defensive coordinator, one of the two. So I mean, basically going back about, so he's got doesn't have a boatload of NFL experience. Most of it is in the college ranks, right? But he's got a lot of experience. I mean, since he's been coaching, pretty much since around 1990. Now, since 2012, basically was his first time that he coached in the NFL. And he was the defensive backs coach for the Miami Dolphins from 2012 to 2017. Right. After 2017, he was fired, and Pat Shurmur picked him up. So that's why in 2018 he was here. From 20 now, it's the third connection. Let's not forget Joe Schoen was in Miami. Started off as a ticket office intern in 2001. Brandon Beane saw him and gave him an actual job. But he was with Carolina. Then until 2007. Then Bill Parcells, had an interview with him and hired him. And so from 2008 to the beginning of 2007, I believe, 2008 to 2017, I'm sorry, he was with the Dolphins. He was, he joined Buffalo in 2017 too, but apparently it was after the draft. So he spent like the first half of the year, 2017 with Miami. The second half of the year was kind of like with Buffalo. But I mean, from 2012 to 2017, Lou Anarumo was with Miami. So that's where his connection is with Joe Schoen. So the Giants are familiar with him because he was the defensive back coach in 2018. And new GM Joe Schoen is familiar with him because he spent like 5.5 or so years in Miami with him. So that's where that familiarity is. Now this is Anarumo's first head coaching interview. So I mean, he's not really like that high demand, right? This past the end of the year, there was week 17, I guess game 16. They were at home against the Chiefs, and they gave up just 3 points in the second half to the Chiefs. And they wound up winning that game. They held the Chiefs to 3 points in the second half, and they beat the Chiefs 34-31. Now they gave up a lot of yards and all that and everything. But I mean, the Chiefs, I think, had 28 points at halftime. And then the defense just kind of shut them down. Defense gave up 1 field goal in the second half, and it allowed the Bengals to come back, take the lead, and win the ball game. So, and even their last game of the season, they gave up, I think, 21 points to the Browns. So I mean, second half against the Chiefs, they gave up 3 points. The last game season, they gave up just 21 points to the Browns. Then they gave up 19 points in the playoffs to the Raiders, and then they gave up 16 points, on the road to Tennessee, the Titans, so to the number 1 seed. So I mean, he's got the defense doing pretty decently. That's what the Bengals might have to, after seeing Patrick Mahomes wing that ball around and get a field goal in the final 13 seconds of the game to tie it, to send it in overtime. Bengals are going to have to come up huge, I think, in the AFC Championship game. Hopefully it's going to be good. I mean, because the Bengals can move the ball. they got obviously Burrow and Chase, and company, so they can put up some points. So I mean, it might be an interesting game. Very, very. Hopefully it's competitive. I hate nothing. I hate more like a blowout in the championship games. It's just a kind of a downer. But I mean, so Lou Anarumo. All right, he was interviewed yesterday. I haven't heard nothing about how it went at all or anything like that. Just kind of shocking when I saw his name. I'm like, huh? Yeah, I had to look because they saw he was the defensive backs coach for the Giants. I'm like, when was that? So I had to read the articles, and it said 2018 for the 1 year under James Bettcher. So, but I mean, the 1 year he was here, that they gave up 24 touchdown passes, which is not exceptional. But we were 5-11. The offense really was not, unbelievably great. We had 16 interceptions. They only gave up, and it was like 64% completion percentage. So I mean, he did a nice job with that defensive backs. So I mean, is he going to get the job? I highly doubt it. But so now the Giants have interviewed 3, and as far as I know, they have at least 3 more to go, unless they said another surprise person pops up. But so far, all right, the guys they've interviewed or going to interview, we got Flores, Quinn, Graham, Anarumo, and Leslie Frazier. Okay, those 5 guys, all defense. They've only got one guy, Dable, who's an offensive coordinator. So there's 6 guys. 5 of them are defense, 1's offense. Now, I don't know if that's by design. I have no idea, but we'll have to wait and see. So apparently, I think what I was reading was Quinn might be interviewed today by the Giants. So I don't know if it's going to be Quinn and then maybe Flores, maybe Patrick Graham or vice versa, whatever it is. But I think Quinn is Monday, and I'm not going to do like one guy a day. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if they're doing like Zoom meetings or what it is. So it might only be like an hour or so, and then maybe to bring down the final 2 finalists or something and bring them in for a head-to-head or something. That I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. But so we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, hopefully maybe by this weekend coming up, we'll have our new head coach for the football Giants. Now, I saw an article. I'll leave a link to it. You can check it out if you want. It showed about 3 giant veterans that should maybe coulda woulda whatever might get let go to help save on some salary cap situation for the upcoming season, because the Giants are just straight up in salary cap hell. All right. Now, according to Spot Track, all right, if you go to different ones, you'll see different things. I just Spot Track. That's what I usually get, because when I pop it up, it's easy for me to look over how much the dead cap hit is, how much the salary cap is, how much this, how much So it's easy for me. So I'm just doing Spot Track. All right. So if you look at somebody, another website, and get a different number, I apologize. I'm just going straight Spot Track, right? If you look, the Giants right now are like $5.7 million, all right, above the cap for next year. So they're almost $6 million overspent. All right. Apparently the salary cap for next year is like $208 million, right? 208, a little over $208 million. The Giants' contracts that they have for the top 51, because only the top 51 contracts go toward the salary cap, all right? But their active contracts of the top 51 players, all right, is they have $213,951,000, all right? So you take the 2, kind of subtract them all, and they're about a minus $5.7 million. So they got to shed $5.7 million worth of contracts, whatever, just to be able to, be even. All right, and then we got 10 draft picks we got to sign. Now, if you look at the 10 draft picks, I said once again, I went online and I looked at what the values are, because the number one pick is a certain amount. It doesn't matter. There's no arguing or nothing. The number one pick is this amount of money, right? So I looked on it. It was Spot Track once again. All right, the number 5 pick in his upcoming draft, all right, is $6.3 million. Now I said we're going to need about $18 million to sign our 10 picks. That's the one problem with having 2 first-round picks. Going to cost you some money. So we're almost $6 million to the negative, and we got to come up with $18 million to sign our draft picks. So that's $24 million we got to come up with somewhere. Just no free agents, nothing. Just to sign our 10 draft picks. And I don't think it's going to be at least I hope not, where we're going to be kicking the can down the road and stuff like that. Because, say Daniel Jones balls out. I know the following year that salary cap's going to go up, but, if Daniel Jones balls out and you're going to sign him maybe to a long-term contract, say you're going to pay him $30 million, $35 million, well, there goes the amount that salary cap's going up from 2022 to 2023. Just might get chewed up from Daniel Jones. If we're going to try to get some different guys in here, between the draft and free agents, you got to get rid of some guys, to start changing the team around. But there's some guys you really can't get rid of because some of them, it's like if you get rid of them, unless you can trade them, But if you get rid of them, their salary might be some guys might be $10 million, but they're dead cow. If you get rid of them, it might cost you, like $15 or $20 million. So you want to, just really shoot yourself in the foot. So it's not that easy to just get rid of everybody, right? So the thing is, our pick number 5 overall in the draft is going to be about $6.3 million. Pick number 7 is about $4.9 million. I said, once again, this is according to Spot Track. All right, that's what I'm going by. Our second round pick is going to be about $1.5 million. All right, and our 2 third round picks, the first one might be around $900,000, the other one might be about $800,000 or so, something like that. All right. So we're going to need, if you add all of that up, all right, the first 3 picks. We got 10. We got about $12.5 million from our first 3 picks. About $12.5 million. Whatever. Give or take $100,000 here or so, but around $12.5 million. All right. The final 7 picks might be about $5.5 million. So you got the 5.5 and 12.5. So you got about $18 million we're going to need to sign our draft picks. All right. So you're going to have to come up with about $24 million somehow just to sign our draft picks. Now, 3 guys, as I said in this article, which makes some sense once you start reading it. The 3 guys that they got here they could shed will just pretty much wind up covering where you can wind up signing your draft picks. All right. Now, of course, you can also, maybe some guys, if you just want to maybe trade Saquon Barkley, right? Maybe you don't get a real unbelievable draft pick for him, but you get rid of him. You got Devontae Booker as your number 1. Maybe you draft you got Gary Brightwell. Maybe you draft another 1 or 2 running backs in the later rounds, right? And you get rid of Saquon and you save on his salary. Maybe you trade somebody else. I'm just throwing out there. Maybe just throwing anybody out there, Adoree Jackson or something, whatever. Right? Get rid of their salary. Maybe get another draft pick. Doesn't have to be for this year's draft. Maybe it can be for following year's draft, 2023. Right? But so unless you do a bunch of trading, you have to just start getting rid of some guys. Now I said the 3 guys that they have in this article. The first one is Kyle Rudolph. If you let him go, you'll save about $7 million. Not bad. All right. The only problem is now, because if you let him go, you can't sign Evan Ingram. So now your top two tight ends are gone. So either you're going to have to get somebody, a real cheap free agent, Levine Toilolo, hope he comes back, hope Caden Smith and his knee is better and he comes back, as I said, you got to maybe draft somebody and put them in there. And, it's going to be a process, of course. Then the second guy you want it, we can get rid of, you can save just save some money, get rid of him, is James Bradberry. Save about $12 million. Now we got Rodarius Williams, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, right? Julian Love, Mr. Duct Tape, you can maybe put him in there. You got a couple safeties, in between Logan Ryan and Xavier McKinney. As I said, but then if you get rid of him, maybe you draft a cornerback in the second or third round. They may not be as good as James Bradberry, but it is what it is. Maybe you draft somebody in the second round, or maybe getting another guy in the third, like we got this year. We got somebody in the third round. Get another person in the third round, bring them in. Hopefully you can draft well, and the guys wind up being okay. But I'm saying, but if you get rid of Bradberry, you save about $12 million. And the third person would be, I hate to see this, I hate all that and everything, but it would be Sterling Shepard, right? Now, the last full season he had in the NFL was 2018. All right, in 2019, 2020, 2021, he's missed 21 games. He just keeps getting hurt, right? If you let him go, you save. He's got some dead cap money to him. So I mean, if you let him go, you only save about $4.5 million. You could, if you wanted to. If you weren't that bad at cap space wise, if you kept them, then the following year you can get rid of them, and it wouldn't be a real small amount of dead cap money. But if you need money to sign your draft picks, we got to come up with about $24 million, and if you can get rid of Sterling Shepard, that'd be about $4.5 million. So between the $7 million save with Kyle Rudolph, the $12 million you save with James Bradberry, that's $19 million. The $4.5 million you save with Sterling Shepard, that's $23.5 million, right? That $23.5 million you save there, it'll be just about enough for us to sign our 10 draft picks, and that's without signing any free agents. So, I mean that makes some sense. It might hurt, but it makes some sense. But Joe Schoen really has his work cut out for him. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!